What's up YouTube, Pokémon here and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I want to cover a few of the new reveals for Destined Rivals, including a brand new illustration rare and some of the new products that they're going to be releasing for the set, and then also take a look at the brand new announced news regarding Prismatic and 151 reprints coming later this year. We also take a look at now the downtrend in the market, including singles and sealed product, and have a look at the overview of the market at the moment. Let's get into it. If you're new around here, you might not be aware that I'm actually giving away a 151 booster bundle absolutely free on this channel once it reaches 1,000 subscribers. We recently just surpassed 500 subscribers, so we are over halfway there, and I'm so happy and grateful to every single one of you who've liked, watched, and subscribed to the channel, because it really means a lot to me, and yeah, it makes me really happy. So I will be giving this away. It's super easy to enter. All you've got to do is one, obviously be subscribed, and then two, drop a like and a comment on this video right here. Now it has to be this video because I'll be doing a random comment picker on this video to choose the winner. So make sure you don't miss out and get involved. Okay, so we are here on Poker Beach, the trusted Poker Beach, the ever trusted Poker Beach, looking at, scroll down a little bit, some Prismatic and 151 restocks coming in May. Now, the title may be a little bit clickbaity because of this, but it is only showing on GameStop that there are restocks coming for Prismatic and 151. So we'll have a little read here. GameStop has relisted 3 Prismatic Evolutions products on their website. The ETB Binder Collection will release in May 10th, whilst the Tech Sticker Collections will re-release on May 24th. All of them originally released in January, of course, January 17th for Prismatic Evolutions. The 3 products are listed slightly above retail price. Not very good, but whatever. In February, GameStop announced customers will only be able to buy Pokemon TCG products in store from now on. So, interestingly enough, we've kind of seen this happening in the UK with Smiths. If you've been trying to get product from Smiths using any bot notification services, they only really have in-store only pickup now at the moment. They've kind of stopped listing things online, or so it would seem. I don't have a Smiths near me, but my brother does, and he's able to get some product from there. Journey Together was quite plentiful. So yeah, interestingly enough, it looks like GameStop are kind of following suit with that. So we'll see how that kind of transpires moving forward. And then interestingly enough as well, their website also shows the 151 Zapdos EX box will re-release on May 24th. It will come with 4 packs of the set. So we're seeing the Zapdos EX collection come back. Whether that's like, I don't know, leftover supply or an actual restock or a reprint, I don't necessarily think that it is. We're yet to see. I did kind of see somewhere on Discord or Reddit, I can't remember where I saw it, that 151 was in the pipeline for a reprint. I'm not sure how true that is. We'll have to kind of wait and see. The only caveat I will say about this is that, we saw Blooming Waters come out. We saw what happened with that. It was absolutely dreadful. If it's anything similar to that, then getting your hands on any of these sealed 151 products for retail price will be a nightmare. So don't hold your breath, don't get your hopes up. Let's just wait and see what happens. The Pokemon Company International announced in January that they were looking on printing more Prismatic Evolutions product, and that it would be available at retailers as soon as possible. In the past, it is usually taking them 6 to 9 months to print more product, so this restock is happening much faster than expected. So that's true. We typically, as I understand it, the Pokemon Company works 8 months in advance. So, if they're releasing a product in August, they would have printed it in January. So there's a sort of 8-month lead time before them announcing a reprint to them actually giving the reprint. So, for example, we saw the announcements for Surging Sparks, Paldea and Fates, Paldea Evolved, Twilight Masquerade, etc. Announcement of reprint on those. We might not see them until later on in 2025. So there is a little bit of a lag time there. As announced before, the Prismatic Evolutions Accessory Pouch Special Collection will release for the first time on April 25th. A few weeks later, the Prismatic Evolutions Super Premium Collection will release on May 16th. An unrevealed Prismatic Evolutions Premium Figure Collection will also release on September 26th, so that's a long time away. It will include promos of Espeon and Umbreon EX. And now these have already been released, leaked. They are the kind of rainbow full art, not full like SIR versions. They're just full art. I don't know what rarity you call it, hyper rare or super rare or ultra rare. I don't really know. But that is the news surrounding 151 and Prismatic. It's not crazy. It's not like, here you go, we're flooding the market with 151 and Prismatic. I don't think 151 reprints or restocks are going to be plentiful or abundant. I think we will see Prismatic printed across the year. They said when they released it that they're going to be printing it for 9 months. Hopefully we get some more product, but I wouldn't be counting on a massive supply of this hitting the market. So just be aware of that. Don't get your hopes up. I still, I've discussed in the last video that I posted that my play, always been my play since Prismatic Evolution got announced, it was to just accumulate as much Prismatic as possible, kind of ignore every other set. I mean, Journey Together was one that I missed mostly completely. Destined Rivals does look good, but again, I am thinking they're going to start to print more and more as time goes on. And this is one that will sort of withstand the floods and the high print capacity the most, because I think the set is it's a home run set. It is the modern day Evolving Skies 2.0 in my opinion. So yeah, I kind of rambled a lot about that. So let's move on to something else. So let's have a look at the Destined Rivals products that have been revealed. So we've got this Mewtwo's EX, Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX for $21.99. So this is your typical EX collection box with the feature card, Mewtwo. You've got Team Rocket's Giovanni there, and it looks like Team Rocket's Meowth there, and then some Destined Rivals packs. It'll be a 4-pack premium collection. Yeah, nothing super incredible about that. It will also be an alternate art. So we saw that with the Alakazam from 151, the Zapdos from 151. You typically tend to see this kind of alternate art EX. So if you are going for a master set, you want to get this promo. And yeah, that's not much to say about that. I mean, Mewtwo, it does look really cool. The sort of red and the purple kind of work well together. I really kind of actually like this artwork for a regular EX, to be honest. So we also have the Cynthia's Garchomp EX Premium Collection coming for Destined Rivals. This will come on June the 13th. So 3 months, just under 3 months. And we've got some of these pins or stickers. I'm not too sure what they are. They could be acrylic. I don't actually know what they are. What are they? Acrylic standee sheet. Yes, these will be little acrylics of Garchomp, Spirited. These are all of Cynthia's Pokemon. You've got a Cynthia's Garchomp promo there with Gibble and Gabai, as well as some Journey Together, some Destined Rivals, and another set which I don't know what it is. Can't see that. Let me know in the comments. That could be Stellar Crown. That might be the what's that face? The Lapras. This, no idea, Paradox Rift something. Let me know in the comments what those sets are. I have no idea, I can't see from here. But we do have this Cynthia's Garchomp artwork, which is, I mean, I love Cynthia, I love Garchomp. I think it's an awesome trainer combo. So yeah, another premium collection box. Yeah, that's it. And then finally, to round off the sort of Poké Beach news, not too much today, we have got a reveal for this Zamazenta illustration rare. Now, you could not pay me enough money to actually give a fuck about Zamazenta and Zacian. They're not iconic to me in any way. This is a really cool artwork. Is it like blowing my socks off? No, because the Pokemon, I don't like the Pokemon that much. If I had like Alakazam, sort of meditating on top of a cliff like this, looking majestic, I'd be like, damn, take my money. But this is just the first reveal we've had for I guess, Glory of Team Rocket. We still haven't had the full set. We've had kind of dribs and drabs. But here is this Zamazenta. Is it Zamazenta or Zacian? Zamazenta, I forget, because they are very forgettable Pokemon. Okay, so the news is covered. Now let's have a little look at the market right now. So I want to kind of look at both sealed products, mostly booster boxes, or the best sealed product for that kind of set. So for example, if it's a specialty set, I'll look at an Elite Trainer box. If it's a core set, I'll look at a booster box. And I want to start here with Surging Sparks. Now, before I sort of actually talk about the sealed product, let's talk about the single. So I'm kind of taking the best single, the biggest chase from all of these sets, and kind of having a look at how they're performing right now. So we are seeing across the board a massive reduction in price in singles in the Pokemon hobby right now. So stuff like the Pikachu, the Charizard 151, the Mew, the Bubble Mew, they're all kind of taking a little bit of a hit right now. Now, is this a massive market crash? Absolutely not. Right now this is a correction, okay? So we saw those huge, crazy gains in these products, in these cards. You can see here that the Pikachu started off at 300. I know this is kind of a newer Pokemon. It's a newer card. It's only been out, 6 months, something like that. But we saw it shoot up massively, and there was a huge surge in price on release. And it's kind of just been tapering off a little bit, moving back down, finding a new higher low, and kind of just making its way back down. Because when you see these meteoric rises in prices, they can't sustain it. It's not sustainable, and we need to see these cards kind of come down a little bit, because They're way too high at the moment. They're way too inflated. But what's interesting, right? So if you look at the sort of the 3-month to 1-month graph of the Pikachu, I don't know what's going on here, but let's have a look at the 3 months for this. We are seeing, slowly start to come down, dwindle down, and just kind of, start to correct the price a little bit. But the actual sealed product itself is not taking as much of a hit as the singles are. I think it's more of a correction of the singles than it is for the sealed. The sealed is still looking decently strong. Now, we've seen the last few months, Surging Sparks just rise and rise and rise. We're seeing a small downturn in the last month, but overall, in the last 3 months, the last 6 months, if you zoom out a little bit, it is just getting higher and higher and higher right now. Obviously, Surging Sparks is one of those sets that's probably due a reprint soon. I am hearing through the grapevine that the Surging Sparks reprint coming, the most recent reprint, like the first reprint wave that comes of Surging Sparks is very, very small. So what I am anticipating for Surging Sparks in particular is a tiny downturn in price when the reprint drops, and then a massive upturn when the supply eventually dries out because there's not enough. What I do think will happen is that in 6 to 8 months, when there's an actual proper resupply of Surging Sparks, we will start to see prices come down. But in the sort of short to medium term, I think prices of Surging Sparks will continue to grow after a small downturn when the reprint does come. The small reprint, the first reprint. But like I said, so the prices of the singles are moving down. The price of the sealed is not affected too much at the moment. Now, obviously, this is a UK-focused channel, so I do want to move away from the TCG player a little bit and look at eBay because that's kind of where most of our prices are. We are seeing, sort of 180, 190, 200 price for the Surging Sparks booster box right now. This has kind of just been slowly increasing since its release. And it hasn't kind of slowed down at all, really. There was a massive surge in sort of price, Surging Sparks, a massive surge in price of this box sort of towards the end of last year, start of January, and it kind of slowed down a little bit. And now it's kind of seeing, the price rise before the reprint comes. Again, for the Pikachu, when we saw this released, the first PSA 10 was going for like £10,000. The first one on eBay was like 5K, I think, for the raw. I can't remember. It was just absolutely insane, but we are seeing now that it's kind of settling down around that 200 to 250 range, which is kind of where we're seeing these modern chase cards hit. The Bubble Mew, similarly, is in that sort of 200 to 260 range. The Charizard is in that 180 to 250 range. So that kind of 200-ish benchmark is kind of where we're seeing these modern day big chase cards hit. The Greninja, what else? Oh yeah, probably just the Greninja, to be fair. I can't think of any off the top of my head right now, but that's not what, I haven't actually looked at the Greninja today. But yeah, so we are seeing these corrections come back to bring the cards a little bit down, and that's what we're seeing right now. Again, the Bubble Mew, so look, this has come down quite a fair bit in the last month, down 8%. The 3 months is actually up a little bit, but in the last month, we are seeing it start to move down a lot. But then if we look actually at the seal product for Paldea Evolved, this is only going up at the moment. Last month, it's gone up by 10%. And I think what's happening is as more sealed product gets ripped, the supply of sealed product gets dwindled down on the market, but the supply of the single cards goes up. When the supply of the single cards goes up, the price of the singles goes down because there's more on the market. And again, I think the singles are just far too inflated compared to the sealed product. And that's why we're starting to see the prices come down. I think £200 per box for Surging Sparks is kind of what I'd expect for one of the best sets in Scarlet and Violet based on the current market conditions. And the prices of the singles are a little bit inflated compared to the price of the sealed. So again, that's why I don't think the sealed is taking too much of a hit compared to the singles. Paldean Fates is quite hard to come by at the moment, to be fair. It hasn't had a massive reprint. There was a small restock on the Pokemon Center where I managed to actually snag a Pokemon Center ETB for Paldean Fates, but there hasn't been massive amounts of supply hit the market for Paldean Fates. I just think the Bubble Mew it just had a meteoric rise and needed to fall off a bit, and that's what we're seeing. Again, I just showed you this a minute ago, but we are still seeing these kind of chase cards hit that 200 range, 2 to 250 range, and I think that's where they'll probably kind of settle down around that 200 range. We might see it come back, and then in the future, I'll talk about what happens in the future a little bit later. Let's just have a look at the Charizard. So again, like the Charizard's been one of the biggest fallers, I think, as of recent. You can see the 3-month graph. I know it's saying up 21%. It is up from where it was 3 months ago, but we are seeing it to fall down in the last month, coming down quite a fair bit from its peak at $260 now down to $230. So not a massive drop in terms of like actual like full price, but we are seeing a downtrend in it. And similarly to what we've seen with Surging Sparks and with Paldea and Fates, the price of the sealed product is still continuing to rise. Like 151 is doing extremely well. The ETB is performing amazingly. It's up 3% in the last month and up 40% in the last 3 months. You can see this graph. It's just continually rising with a few small dips here and there. These are kind of more outliers, but we are seeing just rising. A bit of a sideways pattern here, but yeah, I mean, the seal product for 151 is going to do amazingly well over time, and I think it will continue to rise into the future. So again, the Charizard, like I said before, we've got that 200 to 250 range. I actually picked one of these up recently. It was a very clean copy. It was like £250, so on the higher end. But when I'm making grading plays, I'm happier to pay a little bit more if I think it can get a PSA 10. But if you want one for your binder, I mean, 180, 170, I'd wait for the card maybe to come down a little bit more and just see what happens. I wouldn't be rushing to buy this card right now, nor with any of the other cards. So yeah, I would just keep that in mind. And then obviously the biggest one of the modern day era right now, the Umbreon EX from Prismatic Evolutions. This has had an 8% decrease in the last month and a 10% decrease in the last 3 months. We're seeing a massive fall off on this product, on this card. It was incredibly expensive, and it still is incredibly expensive. It is still an £800 card raw, and I think this just speaks to the actual sheer strength of Prismatic Evolutions. When your biggest chase card is £800 raw, how can you not think that this set is just going to be one of the best sets in the future? Because for me, it just personally is. We're not seeing any sort of downtrend in the last 3 months or in the last month from Prismatic Evolutions, despite the massive drop from the Umbreon. The set is too strong. The set is too powerful. I think we're not going to see too much of a drop off in Prismatic Evolutions. There could be small corrections as time goes on and as we get more on the market, because I think we will get a lot more Prismatic Evolutions. I think it will just get eaten up. I think it's one of these sets, right? People understood what happened with Evolving Skies, and with this being coined the Evolving Skies 2.0, I don't think people are going to let this one go, no matter how much they print in the market. I do believe Pokemon has a capacity to print to demand, but I think the demand for Prismatic Evolutions just simply outweighs everything else, and I think that regardless of how much Prismatic Evolutions they do print, I think if people still share the same sentiment towards the set, which I think they do, then this will get eaten up and it will get absorbed by the market completely. So that's my hot take of 2025. Probably not that hot. Now, lastly here from Scarlet and Violet, I do want to look at the Journey Together. Now, obviously this dropped, last week, 3 days ago. And prices seem to be tanking a lot for this sealed product. In the last month, on TCG Play, you had this meteoric rise. It's obviously up from its initial release day, but we saw this $285 a few days ago, March 24th. And it's starting to come down. I think there's quite a lot of Journey Together on the market right now. So as I mentioned in my last video, I am part of these notification sites like PokeNotify and Rattle. And I'm just getting so many Journey Together pings, ping, Journey Together, come buy me. And yeah, I think they have printed a lot of Journey Together. I don't think it's going to be the most printed set just yet, but we are starting to see prices of singles and sealed come down for this set, which is really good. I think, is it because they've printed a lot of this set, or is it because a lot of people want to skip this set? I don't know. But with the reveal of Destined Rivals, obviously we saw that go crazy. It could just be temporarily people are just skipping this set, and we could see a lull coming in, for the next few months whilst people are kind of waiting for Destined Rivals, saving their money, spending their money on Prismatic Evolutions, and kind of missing Journey Together. That could be what's happened. It might not necessarily be that there's more product of Journey Together than there are of other products. It could just mean that more people are deciding to skip this product, so there is more product for people who want to buy it. Damn, that was a mouthful, but I hope that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, look, the singles for Journey Together have just completely tanked. 30% down in the last month for Elise Clefairy. I remember when this came out, it was about £350. Going £350 in the UK. Now it's around 100 to 150. So massive price decrease there. Same with the Salamence, down almost 50%. People just aren't really wanting these cards, and I think what happened is that obviously the strength of the market is saying, look, new set coming out, all these amazing cards coming out, but really in reality, these cards aren't that great. And the market only thought they were good because the market was strong. But as you start to realize these cards aren't that great, people want to sell them and they just tank in price. So that's what we're seeing now. They've got the Enzora arc. I sort of took the 3 biggest cards. I'm not sure if these are the 3 biggest cards. I think they might be. So I kind of just took those as an example. But we're seeing massive, massive price decreases across the board for Journey Together. And yeah, that's what's going on right now. So I wanted to make a slight comparison because obviously a lot of these Scarlet and Violet sets are brand new, specifically Journey Together and sort of the Prismatic Evolutions are the newest sets. But if we take a comparison and a side-by-side of sets like Fusion Strike from Sword and Shield. Now, what I'm trying to get across, the purpose of this video is to kind of talk about the long-term mindset of Pokemon investing, right? Now, we are seeing downtrends in these singles. We are seeing people lose money on these singles if you've invested in them. Like I just said, I just bought a Charizard from 151 for £250 because I didn't have it and it was the last card I needed for my master set and I wanted to grade it. I've taken a massive loss on the raw price of that card, but I am not stressed in the slightest because I've got a long-term mindset. And what does that mean is that I actually have a strong confidence in that Charizard in 10 to 15 years. It will go higher than what it is now. It'll go to 400, 500, 600, £700 raw, like we're seeing with the Gengar VMAX, like we're seeing with the Giratina, like we're seeing with the Moonbreon. Obviously, it's not as good as the Moonbreon, but I do have faith in these cards. The Bubble Mew, the Prismatic Evolutions Umbreon, the 151 Zard. In the future, they will recover from these losses, and they are only temporary. They're only pullbacks and corrections in the price. And I do believe in the long-term value of these cards. And I think the same, even more, should be applied for sealed product because sealed product typically tends to go up. And if you're concerned with the short-term price fluctuations of these sealed products, then you're not in the right hobby because the long-term mindset doesn't worry about these short-term issues, right? I know for a fact that in 10 to 15 years, Surging Sparks will perform amazingly because it's one of the strongest sets in this whole era. I know that in 10 to 15 years, the Bubble Mew, the 151 Zard, they will hit new price brackets. I know that Prismatic Evolutions, even Journey Together, these sets will reach to a point where I'm making profit and I'm making money and I'm not concerned about the short-term price fluctuations. And if you had that mindset when you looked at Fusion Strike, you can see it had a massive, massive downturn here, 10% down from 230 down to 210. And then we just saw a meteoric rise. Now, I know these are older sets and the supply dwindled off quicker, but that kind of thing happens in Pokemon hobby. Like we see these massive price drops and we see these massive price hikes. But typically, if you have a long-term mindset, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter because the prices will go up over time. Here we've Lost Origin, just kind of did nothing for a little while, and then saw a massive meteoric rises towards the end of last year. And then same with Chilling Reign, similarly to Lost Origin, it was stagnant for a bit, and then we saw a massive price rise. And that kind of thing is going to happen with the Scarlet and Violet sets. I have no doubt about it. And I think, like I said, if you're adopting a long-term mindset, you're going to be all right in this hobby. I wouldn't concern yourself with the short-term, losses or gains, even gains in the short term. If you're looking to try and sell your product like straight away, then yeah, you're not in it for the long run. And I think give it time and see what happens. But I think another thing I would say is like when you're making purchases and when you're buying product, don't buy it thinking, okay, I can sell it. If it reaches £200, if it reaches £300, I can sell it. You should be thinking, no matter what happens to my product, if it goes down to zero, or if it goes to like £1,000 a box, I'm holding on to it because I see the long-term value in that product. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know down in the comments your thoughts and opinions on this video. If you think that I'm right, if you think that I'm wrong, because it really does, helps educate me as well. I'm not 100% sure on all this stuff. I'm kind of making educated decisions and guesses myself. So I'm always happy to learn more from the community. I talk a lot in Discord with people from my community and from other communities, and just learn and grow and learn new things together. If you do want to join my Discord, then I'll put a link in the description. We have a lot of good conversations about this kind of stuff. And yeah, nothing's set in stone, and it's all about learning and growing together. So that's all from me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one.